Hey YouTube, it's Scandalous Dee with another Real Housewives of Atlanta review. This is season 6, episode 4. This episode was not as boring as last episode, but it wasn't that interesting either. Kenya and Candy meet up to talk about the text messaging, and this is really weighing on my nerves. But she basically, tells her, so what's going on with you and Apollo and y'all text messaging? What's up with that? And, she basically says, um, he started texting me first, and at first it was innocent, but then he started texting me, things that may not have been appropriate. And she goes to show her, and then it's just like, okay. And then, she was just like, I just don't want to continue to explain myself. Nothing happened. But I'm like, okay. But I don't hear either one of them saying what they should be saying, which is, I'm not going to text him anymore. I'm not going to text her. It's over with. Me and her are not going to be friends. I'm trying to stay committed to my wife, or I'm trying to, stay out of this feud with Apollo and Phaedra. They married. I'm not trying to get into that. But she basically is there to stir the pot. And I blame all three of them, Phaedra, Apollo, and Kenya, because they are all handling it totally wrong. And I did hear that Phaedra may have initially told Apollo to text her to kind of stir some drama and paint a scarlet letter on Kenya. And I'm thinking that is so dumb. If you want your husband, Phaedra, you better, number one, check him, check her, and get off this reality show. Those are the main things. You should have did that last season when he grabbed her booty as he dunked her into a pool. Now that's when you should have did it right then, because you let it last too long. Now they texting one another. If it was me, I would have checked it then. It wouldn't have got to no text messaging. And if he want to be acting like he want to be with her, then pack your things, and me and you can separate, get a divorce or whatever. I'm not here for that. Kenya and Nene, they go to look for a new house for Kenya. Basically, she goes, I need a really big house, no more than 5,000 square feet. Even that's a little bit small for me. And then, she takes her to, go meet with her realtors. It's like, let me show you, some houses in Atlanta. And the realtor shows her this, pretty house. And then she goes, oh yeah, this is what I need. This is what I need. But when she asked how much it was, he was like, okay, 1.3. 1.3. And she was just like, 1.3 really in Atlanta? I could get a $25,000 square, or yeah, $25,000 square feet house for that price, because that's just ridiculous. I'm like, you wanted a big house, you want to try like you balling out of control and all of that. You can back it up, but you talking, but you can't back it up with your money. You can't. You trying to front, and you doing the charade. You fronting. You trying to act like you can afford Chateau Charade, and you can't. And Nene can't afford it either, but I think Nene making more money than Kenya. Kenya probably the least the successful housewife of them all. Her. But anyway, they do something nice for Portia, because Nene goes to see Cynthia, who is still in bed over her, surgery she had. And she's basically telling, how she can't go shopping, she can't do anything. And Nene, and Candy calls her and is just like, I really want to, do something nice for Portia. I went to go see her. She broke down. They was like, yeah, we want to do something nice. And they all meet up, minus Kenya, because, nobody here for Kenya, and Kenya and Portia don't get along. And then basically she tells them, thanks for getting my mind off of it, but it was just drama. I put up a front like we had the perfect marriage, and we didn't. It was times where he wouldn't even let my sister over. He was very controlling with who came over, and they were just like, really. She was like, yes. He was very controlling. And then I saw some red lights or some red flags, but I really didn't, I ignored it. I wanted to have this lifestyle. I wanted to have a husband and kids and all that. So I just dealt with it. And she was like, when I met you all were kind of telling me, Cordell is too controlling and all that. And I didn't want to listen. And Nene was like, yeah. She was like, I want to be on the jet and all that. She was like, yeah, but the first thing you need to realize is you need to put yourself on the jet. You need to tell him to, tell him to give you money so you can put yourself on the jet, because you having to go to him for everything is why he's so controlling. He wants you to depend on him for everything, and I was just like, yeah, that's true. Nene's right about that. Candy's like, I'm an independent woman, I do it all, and basically they were just giving her some good advice, and that was cool. Let's get to this Phaedra and Apollo thing. Oh, Lordy. I think this is like the last thing I'm going to talk about. They sitting at this lunch table, and I think this was the bad place to have this conversation, where she's basically telling what happened with these text messages. She was like, she tried to get with me when I was in LA. She tried to, at the Beverly Wilshire, she tried to hit me up. And basically, when I got there, she was there. So I went to another hotel, and she kept texting me, from the beginning she wanted me and all this. I could have slept with her. And the expression on her face was like, you could have what? And it was just like, yeah, okay, but it's still you still not saying enough. You're not doing enough. You just kind of like, oh, okay. She was just like, and then the one thing she goes after he talks all his BS is like, oh, give me a minute. It's going to take me a minute before I have to take this knife and start cutting out your tongue. And I'm like, yeah, right, Phaedra, you saying all that, but you should have did that back last season. She was just like, well, I basically want to tell you, that you need to not text her anymore, not text her, please don't text her anymore. And I was like, are you trying to tell him like to go take out the trash, or not to bring a dog in or something? Are you trying to tell him something not to hurt his feelings, or do you need to just tell her like it is? And basically she was a little bit too soft to the task for me. And he was just like, are you threatening me? I'm a grown man. I could, text whoever I want to text. She was like, please don't text any of my friends. Don't text him. Text them. And she was just like, so you threatening me? Ha. I started laughing and doing all this stuff. And I'm just like, is he 4 years old? What is wrong with him? The right thing he should have said was, yes, that happened. Whatever it was in the past, let it go. You don't have to worry about me texting her, speaking to her ever again. And then he had the nerve to say, if I see her, I can't speak to her. It's like, no. And I'm going to say this. I always knew it from the beginning. Apollo wants to sleep with Kenya. That was known, because yeah, she came knocking on his door, but he basically invited her in. Basically, I don't know if they did anything, if they didn't, but he allowed her to come in. So I think it's mostly his fault, and I do think Phaedra needs to get with him. She needs to get with both of them, but especially Apollo, that's your husband. You need to check him. If he won't stop texting her, if he won't stop, if he want to keep playing games and claiming that he wants your attention because you got 2 kids and you can't always stay attentive to his needs all the time, he's playing games. He really just wants a reason to stray, with just no real reason, basically. The fact that you had 2 kids and now your attention is going to them and not to him, he needs to get his priorities in check and realize that everything is not going to be always about him, and that he needs to, just realize that, hey, stop being so jealous of your kids, and stop making excuses. You keep making these excuses, and Phaedra keep allowing you to do that. I would have did it at my house, cleared the air. We would have had to talk about it. I would have told him, if I hear anything else about these text messages, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm going to just start packing your stuff, and you're going to be out of here. I'm going to be living in this in this house, and everything going to be set up the way I want it to. It ain't going to be no pool table where I don't want it to be. And that's just is what it is. That was Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not a lot going on. Kind of boring. Ready for the next episode, where Mama Joyce, Todd, and Candy have dinner, and Mama Joyce trips and is tripping and going in, saying how she don't like Ty, and I'm like, oh Lord. So I just can't wait to see that part where Candy's getting ready to get into a fight. And she's like, I will drag you in this. I will drag you. I can't wait to see that. I hope she's talking about Kenya, but it might be her friend that's supposedly sleeping with Todd. I heard they got married. Hopefully he did sign something, because I don't care if he's a billionaire. Get him to sign something. I just think that's good to protect not just your assets, but his assets as well. Anyway, that was Real Housewives of Atlanta. Please, follow me on Twitter at O's Midnight Love. And that's OS_midnight_LUV. Follow me on Instagram at DrinkMeUp21. And that's Drink Me Up to 1. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you. Again, I don't know when I'll do another review. Next week. Have a good Thanksgiving. And thanks for watching.